Hello you guys, it's Grace, and today I'm going to be talking to you about Nico and I's trip to the Mall of America last weekend. It was so fun and so eye-opening. Nico and I have gone on a lot of public accesses before, but they've all been pretty small things, like going out to eat, or like going to Target or something like that. But this was a really big one. We went to the Mall of America, which if you haven't been there before, it's huge. It's like 3 levels of stores and restaurants. It was kind of a big event. I don't usually make videos on my public accesses because they're usually pretty short and there's not really a whole lot going on. But this one, we were there for about 5 hours, so it was quite a long trip and Nico handled it amazingly. So I just wanted to talk to you about some of the experiences I had there and show you some of the clips and pictures that I took while we were there. Nico did amazing. I was so impressed with him. There were a couple things that impressed me even more about this trip, and I wanted to talk to you about those and also some of the experiences, because you can't walk into a place that has that many people in it and not end up talking to someone. So as a precursor, I was there with my boyfriend and one of our friends. I drove, and when we got there, first of all, it was a pain in the butt to park. I decided that since Nico had been in the car for almost an hour, I should take him down and find some grass for him to go potty in. We walked out of the parking ramp and there was one of the mall dogs with its handler there. Well, for those of you who don't know, one of Nico's kind of behaviors we're working on is he will bark or get uncomfortable around other dogs that he doesn't know sometimes. But he saw the dog and gave out like one little bark, and then I had him watch me and he did great. The dog left, went inside. I took Nico over to a grassy patch and had him better hurry, so he went potty. About 2 minutes later, another pair came out. This one was a German Shepherd with their handler. That one Nico looked at and then immediately looked back at me. So I gave him lots of treats for that because that's what we want him to do. So I was so happy with him. He did so good. I was very proud of him for how he handled that situation because it's obviously something that we're working really hard on. I was so proud of him. So that was a great start to our trip. And then we went in and we were just kind of walking around for a little while. We just went into a whole bunch of stores. Nico handled all of that really well. And then we came across a man who was in a wheelchair, and he stopped me and asked a little bit about the program, asked like what we do, what the dogs are trained in, how he would go about getting a service dog for himself. And I answered as many questions as he could and then ended up giving him a business card. So that was really cool, just being able to talk to someone about the work we do. A little bit later, another educational opportunity I had was we were getting cookie dough, and one of the girls who was working at the stand had some questions asking about what Nico was. Was he one of those emotional support animals? And I told her no, he's a service dog. Emotional support animals don't have public access rights. Just got to explain the difference between ESAs and service dogs and what rights each of them had. There are a lot of people who don't understand the differences, and knowing that she was willing to listen to me and take the information I had and learn from that, now there's one more person who knows the difference, and now she can tell people if they tell her oh, I want an ESA so I can take it in public, she can be like, actually you can't do that. So I just really love those opportunities. When I first was looking into what an emotional support animal was, I thought that they were allowed in public too, because there was so much information on the internet saying that they could come in public with you, and that just wasn't true. Of course, this was many years ago, but I do understand how hard it is to sometimes get all the right information. So it really makes me happy when I can educate people because I have the information. So of course I want to share it with people. She seemed really happy to know the information, and she was like, oh, well, thank you so much, and was really polite about everything. So it was really nice talking to her as well. And for you guys, I will be making a video comparing therapy dogs, emotional support animals, and service dogs, because there's a lot of misinformation out there regarding them, and I just want to talk about what the differences are, where each one is allowed, and kind of all of that stuff, because I think it's a very important topic that I really wanted to get out there and discuss with you guys. So I got 2 nice conversations with people, and then of course there's just the random short conversations you get oh my gosh, is he a training? Yep. And then there were a couple situations where I was also super proud of Nico, where there was like cheese on the ground or like bits of popcorn or whatever, because this is a mall. People are eating and it's just kind of messy sometimes. And he had a great auto leave it for most of the time. A couple times I had to say leave it and remind him not to eat the food on the ground, but for the most part he did so good just leaving it all alone. Also, we went into an arcade, so there's this really big arcade area. It's really loud. There's like shooting games and like all sorts of different games, and we went in there and Nico handled all the noises really great. He just like laid down while we were playing the game. The last thing we did that day is we went to the Rainforest Cafe, which for those of you who haven't been in there, it's this restaurant and there's little like animatronic animals and stuff, and they move and make noises, and then every once in a while they like dim the lights and make it sound like there's a thunderstorm in the restaurant. It's just really cool, but there's a lot of stuff going on in the restaurant. So as we were there, it was just really cool seeing Nico like just pass out, and he was just napping the whole time and couldn't care less about all the sounds. He did really well. And our waiter was also amazing. Part of him was kind of sticking out, and our waiter came over and put like a caution tent thing by Nico, so when they came with our food, they wouldn't step on him or anything like that. The food was great, and I was just like so proud of Nico when I got back in the car with him and we left. I was just like, oh, he handled it so well. I was really proud of him. We went in an elevator a few times and he did great in there, and think about how scary an elevator is to a dog. Of course, Nico has had a fair bit of experience in elevators before, but these were glass elevators, so he could like watch as we were moving up, so I was really impressed that he did really great in the elevator as well. As a whole, I had a blast. I think all four of us had a blast. Nico did great and we had fun, and it was just a really great day. Anyway, that is the end of my story time for the Mall of America. Please like this video if you enjoyed it. Comment below if you have any questions about service dogs or public access or anything like that, and subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to hit that bell icon so you get notified whenever I post a new video. I'll see you next time. Bye!